This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your work, your relationships. We're talking life. It all plays together. I am Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, John Deloney. And we are taking you through this hour of The Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. It's a free call. 888-825-5225. And, John, we've got a full lobby here at Ramsey Solutions. Some fantastic people out there. We got some debt-free screens coming up. We got a teacher interview coming up. We got people calling to get clarity coming up. And it's always fun to be with you, my friend.
Thanks, man. You too. Looking forward to it, and it's good to see everyone out there.
Yeah. Great group. By the way, great reminder, we are open. If you want to come to Nashville and the area and come a little south here in Franklin, check us out, RamseySolutions.com. Let us know you're coming. We've got free baked goods, coffee. You got your iced coffees. You got your, I don't know. Do they have any juice over there?
Yes.
They got the juice?
Yes, they got it.
Yeah. I got the juice.
Do you?
But that's because I'm passionate about what I do. That's what we say on the Ken Coleman Show. When you're living on purpose and working on purpose, you got the juice.
See,
it's not just a J-O-B, John.
In the health and wellness industry, the juice is steroids. So it's cool, man.
Well, I think anybody that's watching on YouTube right now can take a quick gander at me and quickly surmise
You look pretty roided up.
that I'm not on that kind of juice.
Disagree.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to shock anybody with that statement.
If you hang on till hour 3 today, good folks, Ken and I are going to do
push-ups.
Push-ups, that's right.
You know, this desk is big enough for me to get on that end, and I'm short. And I don't think hit you. If we go head-to-head during the commercial break, maybe we'll get that. Kelly's not sure. Kelly's a little concerned.
The desk is long enough, but my self-esteem is not quite that long. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I could do that.
Could you?
Yeah, I have no problem knocking out some push-ups.
All right.
But we're not going to
We'll save that for the next segment.
All right, 888-825-5225. We're going to have a blast today. You know why? Because we're going to be diving in with you, whether it's talking about your relationships, toxicity at work. Hey, am I doing what I love? How do I make more money? What do I do with my budget? How do I get out of debt? This is all going somewhere that really, really matters. And that's why this is going to be fun. Let's go to Tallahassee, Florida to start it off. Chris joins us there. Chris, you're on The Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Appreciate you having me.
We're having a blast. What's up?
Hey, quick question for you guys. So, going through baby steps, and we're on the latter end of that. So I got a structured settlement payment coming up this February, and it's got $50,000 coming in, and looking to see if I need to just send that, max out the Roth IRA that year, and then put the rest into. I got a son, put into his 529, kind of max that out, and then put the rest towards the house. Or how would you guys kind of split that up?
Sounds like you're following the baby steps. Is that true?
Yep.
So
doing well.
What baby step are you on?
So this is going into 4 and 5, kind of a hybrid there.
Okay.
So we've got with an employer match, got about 12% going into the retirement. So
what's the settlement from?
So I had a motorcycle accident about 10 years ago now. So we got a payment this February, and then I got a couple others in 5-year batches out until I'm 40.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the baby steps, and so, I think your question is spot on, but that's what you do. You take this settlement and you plug it into the baby steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you suggest going more towards the house early on, and kind of just the 529 is rolling, and will be, primed up and paid up by the time my son goes to college? Would you suggest putting more towards the house?
How much? Well, let's play the numbers out. How much? Do you mind telling us how much the settlement is?
It's $50,000.
$50,000 coming on this wave, and then I got $100,000 on the latter two.
Okay, so $150 total.
Correct. Or no, $250.
Oh, okay. All right. So $250. So how much would you need to put into the 529? I understand it's rolling. And so, but what's the difference right now? Like, how much of that would get him to that number that you want for the college fund?
So it's probably going to be about 45. We'll just pay it up and kind of get that flat baseline. And then obviously the quicker you get it paid up, it can accrue, tax-free interest.
Yeah.
How much do you owe on your house?
Kind of, 128 on it right now.
Yeah, I would finish out the college fund because that's going to accrue. Now you've knocked that step out completely, and so the money you were putting into that, now we start putting that towards the house, and then the rest of the money so it's the same idea as the debt-free snowball here, and so you just take that money, finish out the college fund step that's there. Now it's fully funded and it's going, and now we take those funds and we knock out as much of the house as you can.
With the understanding that no matter what your employment status is, in 5 years you're going to get a $100,000 check.
Correct, and that's the idea with all these steps is obviously to avoid having any type of fallback or anything like that.
Well, yeah, but you really are running as fast as you can towards paying your house off, knowing that regardless of where you are in 5 years, that's going to be what pays your house off, right? So I would front load those. Yeah, front load your accounts on the front end here because you've got a 5 year. You're going to be completely debt free, completely paid up on your. On your 529, you're going to be where you need to be in 5 years regardless.
Yeah.
So, man, the earlier you can get that stuff accruing interest.
Yeah. So just the answer is knock out 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So knock them out and follow them, and you're going to be fine. You don't need you've got a backup plan. I mean, just think about that. Just the money he's going to put in his house. If you fell in a hard time, you sell the house.
Yeah.
There's so much equity in it, and then you're debt free on 6 anyway. Right. So just follow it out. Don't overthink it. And I think. To speak to that, what's the psychology there of a guy who, again, he's just like me, he's just like everybody else. He's walking this stuff out. He's in great financial shape. This settlement is only going to make it better, but yet there's still fear. Should I spend this money?
We struggle so much with just how little we control in the world and how simple life is when we just play it out, right? If we can just put our head in the mind of the tortoise and just take little steps one after the other. And so, it's $50,000. Come on, just follow the plan, man. And it feels like we're not doing enough. It feels like, I got to be doing more. And this is a bit. Just keep following that plan. And Ken, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to short circuit it. Hey, I'll just do double the workouts today. Yeah. And that'll get me double the in shape tomorrow. It just makes me so sore you can't move, right?
Yeah. So I'm not the licensed psychologist. I don't have the training you do. But when I'm talking to people like this on the Ken Coleman Show and we get a question like this, I'm going to go, okay, let's just lay this out. What's the fear? Name the thing you're afraid of. Well, if I lose my job, I think that's important. Would you agree with that?
Always.
So it's really, I'm not going to make Chris do that because Chris is in great shape. Yeah. But it's almost like, Chris, and if anybody's like Chris, what are you really scared of? Let's name that.
The way I say it is write it down.
I love that.
And then demand evidence from it.
Yeah.
Are you seriously the worst mom in the world?
Put it on the witness stand.
Yep. You're not. Right? Are you really too overweight for someone to love you? No, you're not.
I love
Are
that.
you seriously going to be broke in 5 years? By following baby steps?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you demand evidence from your fears, you realize you've been lying to yourself.
Right. And then accept the truth and focus on the truth. Hey, I got this. We're going to do this. Take a deep breath and keep on moving. Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to keep on broadcasting life-changing radio. Don't move. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back, America. You have joined the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, John Deloney, and we're taking your questions about your life your work, your relationships, and we are here for you. I just feel like somebody needs to call today. You're going, I've thought about it before. I think today's the day. Well, let's go. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Well, it's April, John, and you know around here that's a big, big month for Ramsey Solutions because it's National Financial Literacy Month. And with all of our involvement with Ramsey Ed, Ramsey Education Solutions in America's schools, we do our Teacher Appreciation Giveaway. It's sponsored by Mint Mobile, the affordable premium wireless provider. And because of the dedicated teachers across the country, our Foundations in Personal Finance curriculum is teaching students how to save, avoid debt, and pay cash for things like cars and college. It's changing family trees, helping kids not maybe make the mistakes that their parents and grandparents made. And we love these testimonies. So teachers, anybody listening, if you are a teacher, we want you to enter today for a chance to win some awesome prizes like $5,000 in cash. You can use that however you like. Go to RamseySolutions.com/teacher. That's RamseySolutions.com/teacher. And you've got to enter by April the 30th. If you're not a teacher, share this with a teacher in your life. And one of the things we love to do here on The Ramsey Show is highlight the unbelievable impact that the teachers who engage with us and teach Foundations in Personal Finance in their school and the impact they make. And so we are going to go to Amanda, who joins us on the line. She is at Temple High School in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Amanda, you're on The Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for talking with me today.
What's up?
You bet. Hey, whereabouts in the Atlanta area is Temple High School?
Well, we're not really in Atlanta. It's Temple, Georgia, but we're really close. We're about, if you go I-20 west, we're about 40 minutes outside of Atlanta.
Yeah. Sure. I got you. All right, very good. And this is a public school. I'm looking here with 627 kids enrolled, and you've been a teacher for how many years?
This is my 14th year.
Wow. And how long have you been teaching Foundations in personal finance?
8.
Wow. So how did you come across Dave Ramsey or our curriculum?
Yeah, so I'm kind of a lifer. I'm kind of a fangirl for Dave. And John, it's good to talk to you because I had the pleasure of talking with you last week on your show. It hasn't aired yet, but I'm excited to hear that back.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you.
I first went through FPU as a college kid, and then my husband and I took it again. In fact, we missed our very first week of class on our honeymoon. So, like, the second we got married, we went through it again.
Wow.
And I've led 9 FPU classes, I think, now through the church, and it's just so exciting to bring this content to the high school kids.
So fun. So when you first brought it to the school, what was that like getting it started? Take us to the early days, 8 years ago, of beginning this process of teaching this.
Yeah, well, I kind of get to start over again. This is my first year at Temple.
Cool.
So I brought it with me when I came over, and it's been so exciting to share this with these kids because we had financial literacy here, but it wasn't the Ramsey content, and just the content just makes it so relatable and easy to grasp ideas that are so countercultural to what they're being told. You know, I've had tons of parents react in lots of different ways. Some are excited and they're emailing me saying, hey, send me your tax information stuff because I'm about to do my taxes and I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Or you know, send me the chapter you taught on budgeting. Like, can I talk to you about that? But then I've also had parents at a previous system that said, I don't know what you're teaching my kid, but I don't want them to be in your cult. You know, so I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's very different, you know, having to approach the kids with these ideas and knowing that they're so different than what they're hearing at home.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So paint us a picture of the last year or two for the average teacher.
There was a forced giggle if I've ever heard one.
Utter chaos, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have several friends that have left the industry, and I have several that, you know, myself included, where I feel like I'm in my sweet spot even more now than I was before, you know, to use Ken's language. So it's weird. It's hard. It's challenging. I teach business and financial. So, there are things that COVID has affected positively for our young people, as far as the way they approach the workforce, the doors that are now open with, virtual working and working from home and this and that I kind of have a new curriculum to teach, how to do business and finance in this new world. When the banks are closed, well, how do you do online banking? Things like that. So it's challenging, but it's forced us to be creative.
Sounds like you are a teacher who's been in the business. I used to teach as well at a public high school, and man, after 1 year, it's easy just to say, okay, I've already got that lesson done, and I'm gonna coast. And it sounds like you are a teacher who's so invested in the changed outcomes in your students' lives that you are somebody who's constantly revising, constantly trying to find new things, constantly challenging yourself, and that's exhausting and frustrating and annoying. But it's the rich part of the gig too.
Absolutely, for sure.
I'm so glad to. You make me happy that my kids are in the community in a public school, because there's teachers like you, millions of you, everywhere across the country doing extraordinary work. So I'm so grateful for you.
You are joining our conversation with Amanda Wilson, who is a teacher at Temple High School in Temple, Georgia, and she teaches our Foundations in Personal Finance curriculum, and we are honoring her for Financial Literacy Month. And Amanda, I want to ask you to take us to a story that pops up top of your heart about a kid or maybe multiple kids that got this stuff and did something really cool with it, or you saw the change really stick, and as a result, some great results.
Yeah, well, this is the first year I've been with this group of students. So the longevity stories, I don't really have a lot of those, but what I am starting to see, because I'm still in the same community as the school I came from, is that now I've kind of started a side hustle ministry on, I'm not charging for it, but my previous financial babies would come back and they're like, okay, I just graduated nursing school and I got a $35,000 bonus. What do I do now? And so they'll call me and say, hey, can I get you coffee? Can we talk about my budget? Or how do I do this? And so it's kind of started a little ministry counseling thing. Once a student, always a student. And so they know that there's always a safe place for them to come back and ask questions and get advice and things like that. And that's what's so powerful, is that I'm teaching this to adults. I'm living this in my family. We're on baby step 6. In fact, yesterday, my husband and I paid cash for our Dave car, a new car.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
For the first time. And
what kind of car? Come on, we got to brag a little bit. You earned it.
Well, it's modest. It's a 2017 Ford Explorer, but it's got all the bells and so many whistles that I'm so excited.
And it's yours. It's not a bank's.
And it's mine. We wrote a check and walked off the lot. It was so good.
Fantastic. Boy, it drives better, doesn't it, Amanda?
Oh, my gosh. I didn't know how bad my old car was. I thought it was okay until I got in a new one.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. It was okay. You made it work. That's what I want people to hear. You made it work. And it is okay. And yet now you're in a place where you earned it. Amanda, let me just say on behalf of John and our entire Ramsey Solutions team, we're proud to be associated with men and women like you who are giving of yourself beyond the classroom. You are truly leaving a legacy. So thank you for joining us on the call. Thank you for what you do.
Well, it's my pleasure, and thank you for all the great content. I look forward to seeing you guys at Summit virtually.
Hey, come on. All right. That's going to be a lot of fun. Well, John, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that we did some study here at Ramsey Solutions, and the third largest group of net worth millionaires in the United States are teachers.
And after having been a teacher, and my wife's been a teacher for years, they don't make millionaire money, they make millionaire decisions.
Great
Every
statement.
single day.
Great statement. Love that. All right. John Deloney, Ken Coleman here with you on The Ramsey Show. Don't move, because I'm looking out in the lobby and I see ourselves a great couple who's going to be doing a debt-free screen. Don't move. We're coming right back. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, America. Thrilled to have you with us as we talk about your life, your work, money, relationships, and how to live to the fullest. Live like no one else so that you can give like no one else. Dr. John Deloney joins me. I'm Ken Coleman. We're Ramsey personalities. We both have our own shows, The Ken Coleman Show and The Dr. John Deloney Show on the Ramsey Network, and we're taking you through this hour. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions World Headquarters are Jacob and Heather. Welcome.
Hello, Ken. Hey, Dr. John.
What's up?
Where are you guys from?
St. Louis, Missouri.
All right. And you're here because you're debt-free.
We're debt-free.
That's fun. So let's learn how much you paid off. Tell us the number.
We paid off $155,900.
Wow. And how long did it take you to do that?
4 years and 1 month.
4 years and 1 month.
So y'all grounded down, huh?
Yeah,
yes, we did.
I love the specificity always of these stories.
Hey, when you go 5 years, it is just every month counts,
That's
right?
exactly
Yep.
right.
It is.
And range of income.
You can take.
So we started around 100,000, and then we're at about 125,000 now.
Oh, nice. What'd you do to bump it up?
Job changes.
Yeah?
And a lot of overtime.
Yeah. Wow.
What do you both do?
I'm a nurse.
And I'm a letter carrier for the post office.
Nice. So you were racking some overtime as well for the USPS?
Yes, I was.
Okay. How crazy was it during COVID?
Parcel-wise, it was really crazy, but other than that, it wasn't.
Other than that, all right, good. Now, what type of debt are we talking about?
We paid off our mortgage.
What? That was the only debt you had?
That was the only debt we had.
Wow. Okay. So what happened? So here we go. Let's see. 4 years, 1 month ago, you guys go on this journey. How did this come about?
We got married, and what every married couple does is they go and buy a house.
It was an impulse buy. It was the first thing I've ever impulse bought, and I immediately felt terrible about it.
And it was a house?
It was a house.
Wow. I impulse buy like Dorito tacos, not a home, right? That's really impressive.
Right. Yeah. So we knew that we needed to get things together. And
How long you been married?
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got married, bought a house, and then looked at each other and went, "Oh no!"
What
Yeah.
have we done?
We're gonna
Wow.
have
So
to work
were
like
you
crazy.
familiar with Dave Ramsey, Ramsey Solutions? I mean, where did this guilt come from within moments of walking inside the home?
So when I was little, my aunt had a Total Money Makeover book in her house, but they never really followed. So I kind of knew the name, but other than that.
He started listening right after we bought the house, actually, and he started talking to me about the principles, which made sense. I was always raised, if you don't have cash, you don't buy it. And so, I mean, to us, that made sense.
And you were already there yourself. You were like, I don't like this, 155,000.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, interesting. So what was the decision like to actually get after this? So I know you made this decision, okay, we're going to do this. Then how did it begin to change things? What did you start doing?
It was pretty slow to start because actually of me. I had just cash flowed my second degree, and I was making decent money for the first time in a while, and I wanted to spend it.
I get that.
Yeah, so I was a little slow to get on board, but I thought I'd be a good wife, and if you wanted to do this, we could put a little bit of money each month, and then
We bought a hot tub.
well, we bought a hot tub. And then...
But you paid cash.
But we paid
for it.
cash for the hot tub.
Okay, I don't want
So
to
that's
totally beat
something.
yourself up over that.
Yeah.
If you get a nursing degree, you get a hot tub. That's a new Dave. That's baby step 4.3.
Why not?
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, from there, we had PMI. And once we paid off that PMI, I really got on board.
Yeah.
And we actually ended up putting my entire income towards that from that point forward.
Wow, yeah, because I was going to say, this is a tremendous amount here. I mean, this
Yeah.
is getting with it. I mean, was it rice and beans and rice? Did you go that far?
Pretty much. We
think-
actually like rice and beans.
Yeah, and we canceled. We didn't have TV, or we just.
But you had a hot tub.
We did.
had a hot tub.
We sold everything that wasn't nailed down except for the hot tub.
I mean, I'm going to tell you this, John. If I've got a hot tub, I'm going to be okay with no TV and rice and beans because I can at least eat my rice and beans in the hot tub.
In the hot tub. And then y'all had to do weird married things like just talk to one another and go for walks and hikes and hang out in the hot tub. I mean, because you weren't just going to sit there and scroll mindlessly through some streaming service, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So my guess is 4 years later, after putting in all that sweat equity and tear equity, your marriage is better too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely come a long way.
Yeah. So talk to other couples. What's the key, no matter what their story is, what's the key to getting on board together and sticking with it?
I think you have to have a common goal.
Yeah.
And if you have a common goal and it's worth sacrificing for, you can do it. If you believe you can do it and you have that common goal.
How old are you two?
30.
30?
Wow.
So now what? You owe nobody anything. And the mail's not going to stop coming, and people are going to stop going to hospitals.
No.
And so what's next?
We'd like to start working towards self-employment eventually. Right now, we're just going to start saving.
Yep, just save.
All right, this is what I want to hear, because this is what I do. I try to help people achieve their dreams, right? Get promoted, get that dream job, and work like no one else. I want to know, what's the dream there? Working for yourself. Can you share that? You got at least a fuzzy version of that dream?
Owning, I think, mainly real estate.
Real estate.
Well, now you're set up. So that's stacking money. Yeah. Okay, good. That's fantastic. Talk to us about your support system along the way. When a couple decides to do this and live really differently and take one person's entire income and put it towards debt, that's a little strange. Who is your support system?
Really, just each other. No one really knew we didn't on this journey.
Anybody, really?
What do you think about that, Doc?
I think these two are gangsters is what I think. It's the quiet ones. It's the mail carrier that's walking around with a paid-off house, right? Or it's the nurse who smiles a little bit more because she's got a little less stress in her life. Mm-hmm. That's incredible, you two.
Yeah, incredible is right. Wow. Unbelievable.
Parents are on board. Your friends just kind of laugh and make fun of you?
Yeah, they would pretty much just say, well, why would you want to do that?
Yeah. Interesting.
And so tell us about the last year has been rough on nurses. Mm-hmm. Really rough.
Yeah.
Everybody gets off a shift, and they're all going to just what the closest margarita shop there is. And then you say, I'm going home.
Exactly.
To sit in my hot tub and
that was the goal.
Have yet another burrito. Mm-hmm. And, what do you say?
I always encourage people to do it. And I think people don't really understand the value, which is surprising to me. But I think it's worth it.
Yes, it absolutely
you two are free.
We're free.
Yes.
4 years in, you're free. Incredible.
And now moving steadily towards dreaming and making those dreams a reality. So good, so good. What a great story. All right. You guys ready? You've been warming up?
I'm ready.
You look ready. Get the hands held. There we go. Look at that couple. Folks, it is Jacob and Heather from St. Louis, Missouri. They paid off $155,900 in 4 years and 1 month, making $100K to $125,000. Jacob and Heather, take it away. Let's hear your debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yes, there it is. And they are. Look at that. Look at that young couple. That's the finish line. And that's what we love about the debt-free screen.
It's the finish line, yet it's the starting line.
Whole new race.
Right.
Whole new race.
And they can walk, they can run, they can just head off into the woods. They do it whenever they want.
They can hop off the trail, lay under a tree for a couple days.
I don't want to blow by this because I have a tendency to do this. I see somebody who makes an impulse purchase. Again, not everyone impulse buys a house. They did. To this debt-free scream, there's digital confetti falling behind them, right? All that. In between is 4 years of monthly grinding, annoyances, frustrations, squeezing the last little bit of lotion out of the tube because we don't have it in the budget to go get some more. And you're thinking, I make so much money, why do I have to do this? But you keep going and keep going and keep going. So worth it. Take a little step and a little step and a little step. In 4 years, you can look up. You're going to be there.
Do what you have to do, John, so that you can do what you want to do. And this applies to money as well. That's why the baby steps work. So great. What a great young couple. All right, John and I are going to go out and high-five them, congratulate them, and then we're coming right back. This is The Ramsey Show. Ramsey Show continues. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Dr. John Deloney as we take your calls. We are Ramsey personalities and a part of the Ramsey Network. Dr. John Deloney Show. Fabulous show. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on YouTube, and you can get them anywhere you listen to podcasts. And the Ken Coleman Show, syndicated on 70-plus stations around the country, Sirius XM, and on YouTube Monday through Friday as well. Just search the Ken Coleman Show on YouTube and wherever podcasts are available. And so, John, you focus on the mental, emotional health. It's relationship health. I mean, just all across the board. Pretty much everything. And I'm focused on helping people do what they were created to do. Simply put, we believe that you were created to work. Now, that sounds gross for some of you. When I say created to contribute, that starts to hit a nerve. Everybody wants to make a difference, John. And it turns out that some of the stuff you cover and some of the stuff I cover interconnects a good bit with toxicity in the workplace. So if you're in a situation you're going, I need my job, I'm walking the baby steps, but I don't know if I can hang on any longer. Give us a shot. Give us a shout.
I would love that. And I want to ask you something, Ken. So I was reading something a few weeks ago, and this author, she's brilliant. She was talking about, and tell me if you see this on your show, what we used to as a society, we used to have our small little village. And the small little village gave us our central values. It gave us the cultural norms, what was cool, what's not cool. Here's how we talk that. And then it shifted to, on a larger scale, our religious communities said, here's our general set of values. Here's who we talk, how we talk to one another, whatever. And now we're in this completely decentralized universe, and we are trying to get cultural and collective values from our workplace. And so we are all going to work and trying to find this sense of purpose and this sense of value and the sense of what should I be dressing and how do we all talk together. And every business has a different culture in every place, and so it's just decentralizing everything. But it goes back to this idea, and I hadn't thought of it in my head, we are putting a lot into this idea of work. We're getting a lot of value, purpose, meaning. This isn't just about earning a check anymore, making sure that we got food on the table. This is about answering questions like, who am I and what's my role here, right?
Yeah.
That's new and different, it feels like.
No, I don't think it is.
You don't think so?
No. Genesis chapter 2 makes it pretty clear that we were created to work, that work is something that we do. And so I think that men and women throughout history have longed to make a difference in their world. And I think purpose comes down to two areas in our life, relationally and professionally. You cover relationship. Yeah. I cover the professional side of things. And what I mean by that is that your identity and your value as a human being has nothing to do with the size of your salary.
Right.
Or the notoriety attached to your work. But as it relates to significance and contributing to the world, it matters deeply. And so when you spend, there's a reason why torture, the evil Nazis, the torture was to have prisoners move one pile of rocks from one side of the prison camp to the other.
Just futility, huh?
Yeah, that is not a physical torture there, even though that's hard work. That was an emotional, psychological torture. There's no meaning in what I'm doing. And so if you spend your whole life, 35, 40 years doing a job that you don't have any passion for, you don't love the work itself, and the work itself doesn't create a result that you connect to, then that's the issue. So in what she's saying, if she's saying, look, we're putting too much into our
not too
title,
much, just that don't undersell how important work is. Don't undersell how important cultural fit. Don't undersell how important. We're putting a lot in there.
Well, the reason is because we long to make a difference. And so the Ramsey Solutions worldview of work is that you were created to work. You don't work to live. The secular worldview of work, just the general worldview of work, is that I just work to get a paycheck to be able to cover the basics. And if I'm fortunate enough to make more than that, and I can have some toys and make some additional memories, awesome. But it's not a utilitarian function. That's not the cause of work.
So I never thought of this question. Is it my responsibility to bring meaning to my job, or vice versa? For instance, if someone is listening to this and they are the assistant director of the mailroom and the large office complex where they work, They don't make a huge salary, but without them, this business does not operate.
Yeah.
Is it their responsibility to find the meaning in what they're doing?
Well, it's not a responsibility, it's a reality.
Okay.
Any job, everybody that I'm looking at on our team, everybody in here, their job does matter.
Well, yeah, we could just run our mouths all day. Nobody's going to.
Exactly.
We're nothing without them. Yeah.
The question is, does the job matter deeply to them? And so that's your responsibility. So you need to understand the reality is that a job does matter. Somebody needs to do it if you're doing it. But it's okay that it's not your ultimate dream job. Right now, it's where you are, and you're working your way up. Maybe you're getting out of debt, whatever your situation. But ultimately, what we're teaching is, and what I believe is, you need to be in a job that matters deeply to you. All the work matters. Right. But does it matter deeply to you? That's why we talk about talent, passion, and mission coming together. So let's put it this way. If a human being spends their whole work career just doing something they're good at, they'll be successful. Okay? They'll deliver results and get paid and probably get promoted. If they do something they're good at, that's talent, and something they love to do, just the work itself, there'll be some deep satisfaction there. But if they do something they're good at, that's talent, and they do something they love, that's passion, and then that work that they're doing also creates results that fills their heart, and they go, that matters really deeply to me. I like producing these results. There's a personal connection to these results. That's mission. Now we're talking about significance, and a person, they begin to see the significance of their contribution to the world. Has nothing to do with success or satisfaction.
Or even, can you have a mission that can go from job to job? Sure. Once you land there, once you know your purpose and mission.
Yeah, that's what I teach. You stay in your sweet spot the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But you're still moving up.
Yeah.
And by the way, that kind of helps some folks. The dream job's not just one thing. By the way, it's not just one career.
It's who you're going to be wherever you go. Right?
It's, are you using your talent to perform work that you love, passion, to produce results that matter deeply to you, mission? So I could see a person go from, and I get this call all the time on the Ken Coleman Show. We could get somebody, a teacher that goes, hey, I want to move out of being an elementary teacher, and I want to go into corporate training. Let's just break that down. So if you're talented as a teacher, what are the talents you got to have? Does that cross over to being a trainer? Yes. The work you love as a teacher, is that work also something that you love as a trainer? Yes, that's instruction. They love instruction, the research, the instructing, the guiding, if you will. And then what are the results that matter to you? Well, if it's teaching and educating a child, or just mentoring a child, or giving a child a bump, yeah, but if you're doing that in the corporate world, same thing. So it's like a litmus test of, hey, as long as I'm doing this type of work, I know that I'm doing what I was created to do, and therefore
you can do that anywhere.
Anywhere, and it's not about money. You'll make money, and you'll have enough money, which is why, again, teachers are the third largest group of net worth millionaires. Why? Well, because they've gone to significance, and satisfaction and success have come along with it because they had altered their lifestyle.
To fit their mission.
To fit the mission. You just broke it all down.
Look at me learning.
You just interviewed me. But that's the deal there.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Let's talk about where you come into this. We get calls when you come on my show, and some of the calls we could take today, folks, if you feel like you're in a toxic workplace where you're going, I need my job to get out of the baby steps. I need the shovel. I need the big shovel. I'll talk big shovel with you, but we could talk about that. What's that look like? One of the things we fall into all the time, we get these calls. I'm doing something I love, but I can't stand the place I'm doing it in. And we say it's doing the right thing in the wrong place.
Right.
You can be in that sweet spot that we just had fun talking about and be in a toxic work environment, an abusive environment, coworkers, maybe a leader who's just a toxic leader, and you can hate going in.
Every single day.
You want to talk about confusion?
Yeah.
That's confusion.
Absolutely.
And there's no need. So let's help you get clear. We'll take those calls. We'll take your money calls. John, been fun hour. Our producer, Ben Hill. Our associate producer, Kelly Daniel. Thank you. Most of all, let's thank you, America, because you're why we do the show. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your work, career, your relationships, mental, emotional health. We're going to cover it all because it all matters in relation to you being who you are created to be. I'm Ken Coleman, host of The Ken Coleman Show, which is on the Ramsey Network, and my colleague is Dr. John Deloney. He's host of The Dr. John Deloney Show on the Ramsey Network as well, and we are here for you this hour, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. So, question I get a lot on The Ken Coleman Show, can I switch jobs during the baby steps? The answer is yes. Many times it's the promotion you need and the financial boost. So I'm going to help you with some big shovel stuff. John's going to, hey, a lot of times people can't get through the baby steps because of relational and emotional issues, all kinds of stuff, mental health. John and I'll team up if you're in a toxic work environment, what to do. And John and I team up on that. So I want you to know that you can ask those questions and, of course, your money questions. We are here for you, 888-825-5225. Let's start it off this hour in Sarasota, Florida, where Jamie joins us. Jamie, you're on The Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you guys today?
We're having a blast. What's going on with you?
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for everything that you do to help everyone that listens to y'all. So here's my situation, and I'm 39, married, have a child, and have a 2-year-old, and another one that is due in July. So we are already, I should say, on baby step 7.
Wow.
And by nature, we are on baby step 7. We have already, money in savings and everything. By nature, I am naturally stingy. I am. And I want to become more generous. So I am wondering what would be some practical ways to become more generous so that I can, because in baby step 7 is talking about giving. So how can I be generous and smart at the same time with the finances that I have?
Man, I love that question, Jamie. I love your heart, dude. So why are you stingy?
I grew up kind of always, how do I say this? Kind of thinking that I didn't have enough, and I never lacked anything, but I also never, I always thought, I'm always thinking for the future, kind of like how you guys teach, and I'm already thinking about, my kids' braces and their college tuition and all that kind of stuff. My wife, on the other hand, she's extremely generous. Sometimes I think she's a little too generous where people take advantage of her. But I want to be generous and, smart at the same time, because sometimes people take advantage of generous people. But, I guess this is the reason why I'm asking this question.
So it sounds like beneath because you're clearly smart, you're 39, you're a millionaire, right? You know how math works, and you're very disciplined, and you're intentional with your life. Not a millionaire
yet, but maybe almost there.
Okay. So it sounds like beneath the fear that I think any rational person has is, am I going to have enough? That's a base fear that people have. You mentioned several times this idea of being taken advantage of, that somebody's going to pull it over on you. And where does that come from? You've been taken advantage of before?
Yes, actually. And it's because, it's funny because it's actually happened, not so much with friends, but mainly with family, where we extend a hand and we kind of felt maybe in the past that we have gotten pooped on, and pardon my expression. But, those things have really kind of marked us. And, we know that obviously, we need to, we realize the importance of setting boundaries. But, just the whole idea of giving, for me, it's something that I want to get to a point where it's just so, so free in that sense, and without obviously being a little too free, if you get what I'm saying.
So here's two things to think through. A guy named Mitch changed my life when it came to giving back in college. That's back when we had nothing. And he had a little bit better job, and he was a little bit better with his money. And one morning, some kid came and knocked on the door and said, fill in the blank, we're selling something, or we need some money for down the street or whatever. And Mitch said, hang on, I don't have any cash, but hold on. And I wrote him a check, a sizable check. And everyone in the house, a bunch of college knuckleheads, and was like, oh, he's going to take that money and go do this or that. And I'll never forget what Mitch said. He said, well, that's on him. My gift was, he gave me a need, and my gift was fulfilled an obligation I had in my heart to help. And if somebody wants to take advantage of me, that's going to be between them and the mirror, not me. And then there's a second thing, which is, and I've learned this by sitting by Dave, there is an intentionality. There is a point when you start enabling people. And so, like you talked about with family and boundaries, right? So when you're actively participating in somebody hurting themselves or hurting other people, whether it's through supporting addiction or whether it's fill in the blank, then you have an obligation to stop. So if I'm in your seat, I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to sit down with my wife and have a dreaming session. Who are people we would love to serve, help? What gets us going? Ken talks about passion when it comes to work. What are we passionate about serving other people? Something in your life. It may be people who get taken advantage of. Maybe that's where your passion is. What is that thing you can contribute to in your community? The second thing is I would set some relatively aggressive goals. And then the third thing is this, and I'm making these up off the top of my head, brother, is I want to feel and see that transaction. Where I get the greatest joy is when I am at a restaurant and I see somebody working like bananas. Yeah. She is working so hard. He's working so hard. And I'm going to obnoxiously tip that person. I'm going to blow my budget for the whole month, but I'm going to tip like crazy. And you just watch them look at that check. My heart feels good, but I know that their electric bill's taken care of that month because of that one meal. That's when you start seeing the impact in your soul and in their soul when it comes to giving.
Jamie, I just got to add, I think John gave you some great things here, but remind yourself that you've been burned with family and you are talking about setting boundaries, and set the boundaries and know that you're not going to make that. You're not going to make that mistake again. So be free from that. You're free. You know what that's like. You're going to do it again. Second thing I would mention is I think John is right. And I was going to say, I would encourage you today or tomorrow, your favorite drive-through place, just start small and build this muscle, because you're scared and you don't trust people. If you want to get over stingy, start small. Here's what I want you to do. Next drive-through, say, hey, person behind me, how much is their deal? I'm going to take care of that.
Next time you go to a restaurant, your bill's $50, tip $100 on top of it.
Yeah, do something small that you can see and begin to feel that positive chemical that gets released when you go, oh, that was really fun, and then just kind of build up.
And if
you don't have to
burns
be big.
That's on them. You still did the right thing.
Yeah. Just start giving. Don't think, just give. Don't move. More Ramsey Show coming right up.
Healthcare has gotten to be ridiculous. It puts people, on the brink. And so it would have put us on the brink had we not had CHM. CHM saved our life, saved our financial lives.
Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is not health insurance, but it is a budget-friendly option and the original health cost-sharing ministry for Christians. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget.
Ramsey Show continues from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and we're taking you through this hour. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. John, you know this. I'm talking to people every day that are stuck and disengaged in their current job, and Ramsey Solutions is a solution for that. If you're searching for a new job, our Get Hired live stream event brought to you by yours truly. Tuesday, April the 27th is for you. It's a one-night event. Tuesday, April 27th, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. You'll learn how to get clear on what you do best, get qualified for the job you want, and get connected to job opportunities. And this is for people that are starting out. If you're a college kid, if you're trying to upgrade, get a bigger shovel, or you're trying to switch careers. The bottom line is you're trying to win, because that's what getting hired is. You're beating the competition. Then this event is for you. Join me Tuesday, April the 27th. We're going to have a live crowd, about 200 people, and we haven't sold out of that yet. So if you're in driving distance of Nashville or live in the Nashville area and you want to join us, we're going to do some special stuff for all you folks. Go text the word HIRED to 33789. Text the word HIRED to 33789. Tickets start at just $20. It's Tuesday, April the 27th, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Get hired. Here from our Ramsey Solutions World Headquarters. Let's go to Scott, who joins us in Las Vegas, Nevada. Scott, how can we help?
Hi, guys. So I have a situation where I have a 16-year-old truck. I paid it off in 2010, and my dad always told me, hey, start saving, so when you have to purchase a new truck or a new car, you can pay it out outright. So I'm at a point right now where my truck is it's older. I feel like every year something can happen, but I also owe about $157,000 on my mortgage. And I'm wondering what's the best route? Is it to maybe possibly put that money towards my mortgage? And I'm talking about, I have about almost $100,000 in my savings, and I have about 35 for emergency. And the rest I was going to put down a truck or put down a car eventually, but I wanted to know, what's the best route to go?
Dude, go buy a truck and then pay the rest down on your house, man. You're overthinking this.
That's it.
You got $100,000 in the bank. You know what that makes you? A unicorn.
Yeah, above and beyond your emergency fund. I'm assuming you have no debt, correct?
The only debt I have is my house.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I understand that. But other than that, John's right. What are you worried about?
Well, my truck is fine, but I feel like it could die at any minute, right?
Scott, if your truck dies at any moment, you got $100,000 sitting in the bank. There's absolutely zero to worry about.
Okay.
Do you want it to die? Listen,
I don't. So
one time my wife bought a Corolla, and we agreed that when the Corolla finally died, I could get a new car.
Did you kill it early?
No. You know why? Because you can't kill a Corolla.
Oh.
It will be what they drive after the apocalypse. Corolla.
Somewhere a Toyota executive is writing that down. You can't kill a Corolla.
So I got to a point where I'd get in it every morning and go, please don't start, and it would start. Is that where you're at, Scott?
I mean, it is. And so here's my thing though, is I know I want to get a Tesla Cybertruck whenever those come out.
Okay.
And that's not going to be 2 or 3 years. So I'm hoping my truck lasts that long. Right.
Okay.
So I'm hoping on that, but that's what I mean is should I just start, and that's my question. Should I just start focusing on putting money towards my home payment and then eventually, but
I wouldn't buy a $100,000 truck until my house was paid off.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like 60-something thousand.
Same difference.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Scott, buddy, go get something or keep driving this thing and then let's do this. Here's what I'd like to see you do, because I think he needs real direction here.
Yeah, I think you got $100,000 burning a hole in your pocket. Seriously, I think, and you're frustrated that you drive kind of a beater truck, and you got $100,000 in the bank.
Yeah. So So if you're frustrated, you've got the money to go buy it, but go buy something that retains its value pretty decently, and then if you can afford the Tesla thing down the road, then you're going to get most of your money back, or you're going to get a good chunk back. So if you buy one of those Toyota trucks that just hold their value forever,
Tundras and the Tacomas,
Yeah. Look, dude, here's the deal. I'd pay the house off. I would pay a big chunk down on the house. You got the emergency fund in place because now you're really stacking money. So just walk the baby steps out and stop thinking about this. But yeah, if you want to go buy a nice car, go buy a nice car. My goodness gracious. What's the psychology there, John?
I think he's got $100,000 burn a hole in his pocket. I think
he doesn't want to spend it though.
Yeah, but you get in that mix. Like I've had that where it's a kind of an uppity feeling. I drive an old truck and I think, I got a nice, what am I doing? And then I got to go back to say, this truck's great. It's getting me where I need to be. I've got other goals, right? My goal, as the reverse of his, is I want to pay my house off first.
Right.
And so I'm going to try to...
And by the way, nothing's wrong with the truck. He said nothing's wrong with the truck.
Yeah.
So keep driving the truck.
He just wants it to die,
What do I do if it dies?
Get another one.
You got $100,000, Scott. He needs to take a couple deep breaths. You got a breathing regimen for him?
Yeah, it's just
he's
in and out.
uptight, man.
It's just... That's right. Again, one of those not too complex things.
Yeah, fantastic.
He can go get the Wim Hof app and learn how to breathe deeply.
888-825-5225. You're listening to the Ramsey Show. Let's go north of the border, Toronto, Ontario, where Vinny joins us. Vinny, you're on the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Oh, we're having a blast. What's up, Vinny?
So, yeah, my situation is I'm basically a recent college graduate. I got $20,000 in debt. The thing is that since the pandemic, it's been a struggle trying to get a job and everything. So, I've been always trying to, go get into real estate investing. It's been like my dream goal, not my dream goal, but like one of the things I really wanted to do. And, the situation that I'm in right now, it's pretty I would say it's losing my confidence on a daily basis. So I'm just wondering I just try to get some sort of advice out here, in order for me to deal with the situation.
Well, first of all, don't attach your confidence to and your ability to eventually be a real estate investor to your current situation. So your situation, Vinny, is not your sentence. This isn't a life sentence. You're not a loser all of a sudden because you're recently out of college and you got student loan debt and you're having a hard time getting a job. You need to separate those two, number one, and then let's get serious about getting hired. If it's 2 or 3 part-time jobs, just to get yourself some momentum right now, the quickest way to get out of a rut is to get busy, is to do something. But sitting around and commiserating, not that that's what you're doing, but just sitting around and soaking in your frustration is not the way to move forward. Get to work, start making some money, follow the baby steps, knock the $20,000 out. A young guy like you should be able to do that, sacrifice big time. John, what would you add to that?
Vinny, do you want to get into real estate so you can try to short-circuit the deal? You're going to borrow some money, grab a house, flip it, try to earn that cash, and then roll and roll. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, flipping it and all that stuff. Yeah, that's
but you got to do that with cash, man.
Here's what's going to happen. You're going to go buy 3 properties. You're going to leverage yourself to the hilt. The market, it's lost its freaking mind, and then it's going to roll over on you, and you're going to be bust.
Yeah, the market right now here in Toronto is messed up. It's the average that's how it's $1 million.
Listen, brother. You're years away from real estate investing. I don't want to be the guy that hurts your feelings, but you're way far away. Right now, you need to learn, if you want to go sell houses and get a real estate license and go work in a real estate office and learn how the thing works,
Listen
how
up,
the field
Vinny.
works.
Listen to what he just said, Vinny. That's the deal.
That and learn the business. But, brother, don't go take a bunch of loans out and try to roll some houses over because it's going to roll right on top of you, and you're going to be bust. Go pay your loans off and scratch and claw and scratch and claw. Ken gave you the best psychological advice. When you get in a rut, go do something.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there.
Vinny, get to work. 3 part-time jobs, 6 part-time jobs. Pay the debt off. Get qualified if you want to be in real estate. Use the proximity principle. Hang on the line. Kelly, let's give him a copy of my book. Start getting around people that are doing what you want to do. But you better do it the cash way. That means you got to get to work and work for a while and sell a bunch of houses. Save all that money. Buy a house cash and begin that process. You can get there, but you're going to have to work your way there, Vinny. Come on, man. Get out of the house. Get to work. Don't move. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and we're taking you through this hour of The Ramsey Show. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window covering. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Today's question, there you go, from Barbara in Virginia, John.
All right, Barbara asks, my husband and I are debt-free except for a 0% car loan of $13,000. Should we pay it off or continue with the $548 a month payment? We are retired and have monthly income of $6,000. Our retirement portfolio is $1 million. Yes, pay it off yesterday and then be done.
The only thing I wish you would have done in reading that was do the Dr. Evil $1 million.
Yeah, simple. Because here's the thing: you're not playing a math game. You're a millionaire.
Yeah.
You're playing a how many chains are hitched behind me? How many people am I subject to? And right now you are willingly subject to a bank for no financial reason. Not because you have to, not because you're stuck, not because you don't have enough money. You're just choosing every week to be indebted to a bank. And at that point, your dollar amount doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, good stuff there. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Orlando, Florida, where Chuck is on the line. Chuck, how can we help?
Hey.
How are you?
Guys?
What's
Good.
going on?
Hey, my two AC systems in the house are about 12 years old, and they tell me from about 10 to 15 that they're going to die.
Uh-oh.
And it's going to run about $11,000 to replace them. And I have a good savings account, and I have some stock. So my question is, should I pay it all off or, consider financing it? I just don't know.
Don't finance the air conditioning.
No.
Just do not do that. How much do you have in savings?
About $12,000.
Okay. Do you have any other debt?
No, I'm debt free except for the mortgage.
Okay.
Does that $12,000 include your emergency fund, or is that above that?
It does. It does.
Okay. Well, that's why we have the
stock.
How much in stock?
$46,000.
Just in single stocks or company stock?
Single stocks. Yeah. I invest myself.
Okay. Yeah, I would actually sell the single stock and roll that into an emergency fund of some sort, and then you've got your $12,000 to pay your air conditioners off, and then you owe nobody any money. You're not going to take a loan out on a depreciating asset, which would be the air conditioners that the day you put them in are going to start losing value.
What's your income, Chuck?
Okay.
What do you bring home?
About $60 a year.
Okay. And how much, based on your budget right now, how much are you putting away a month, or how much could you, if you move the budget around a little bit, how much could you put away each month towards the AC replacement fund?
Well, probably, that's a good question. Probably $400 or $500.
All right. I think you got a couple options there. Right, we at Ramsey Solutions, we don't, we're not saying that, being in the stocks is evil or wrong. We just don't recommend it because it's a real roller coaster and you can get hurt. So I think John gave you a great option, but I just wanted you to have in your mind, wait a second, if I could put $400 a month away, right now the units are working, correct?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so
again, well, yes and no. Actually, the inside unit is got a slow leak on it. And they went ahead and charged it a couple of days ago, and so it's on its way out.
Yeah, so but let me say this. I've been down this road before. I've owned 4 houses now, and I've had this happen. And here's what I know about techs. They'll come out there and they'll tell you all the things wrong with it. It's like the mechanic. Doesn't mean they're evil, but that's just the way they roll. And they go, this thing's going to die somewhere between year 12 and year whatever. And all of a sudden, what does that do? Our emotions go, oh my gosh, the clock is ticking. Well, first of all, the tech doesn't know exactly when it's going to die, or he wouldn't be doing HVAC repair, right? He'd be in the prediction business. Second thing is, even though that hose is leaking, I like to always ask, okay, I get it. I get that I'm going to have to replace this.
Can we fix that hose?
But how much is it going to cost to fix the hose and keep that going? Because if we could keep that going and extend the life of this thing with some every once in a while repairs, that's not going to be a big financial hit to you. You've got the emergency fund for that very reason. And if you begin to save $400 a month to replacing one of those units, well, you can do the math. You know how quickly you can get there and begin to at least take care of one. I seriously doubt that both are going to quit the same day. So I just don't want you to act out of fear is my point. Let's act out of facts. What are the facts right now? And let's go that direction.
And Chuck, here's an interesting way to think of it. Following Ken's line of thinking, you can either start saving money on your own now, or you can finance this thing and pay that same money on the back end to somebody else. Yeah. I'd much rather own my own destiny in that scenario.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, John's advice was really good. You've got stock.
Yeah. If I'm in your situation, I sell the stock tomorrow. It's everything's rocking and rolling. I sell the stock. I've got an emergency fund. There is no drama in my house, and then I'd probably just go ahead and replace them and call it good.
Yeah, if you're really worried about it, but you're not getting killed in the stock market, and you're up right now. Go ahead and use that. That is your money, and it's a really risky thing. And we'd really love for you to consider our investment strategy and reach out to a SmartVestor Pro. You go to RamseySolutions.com, find a SmartVestor Pro or 2 or 3 in your area and interview them and start that investment strategy that way. But you've got options here. You've got several options. But one thing I don't like was when we feel like, something's wrong with the car. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had mechanics go, well, this is probably going to happen. And I go, has it happened? No, it hasn't happened, but it's probably going to happen. Okay, great. And about what is that going to cost when it happens? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you just got that money and we'll wait for it to happen.
Yeah, I'm not going to just drive that car every day going, gee, I hope this doesn't happen today. Mm-hmm. If it happens, we got the AAA. We'll get her over there. We'll fix it. I've got to move money now. Or I got to come up with money now. It's like, do you? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the answer is unequivocally yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, no, actually.
Well, and before I go buy 2 air conditioning systems, I may have somebody else come out and look at them and get a second opinion before I go spend $12,000.
That's a great point. This is the kind of thing I would really do. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm telling my wife, she's on Facebook, right? I'm not on Facebook. You can go into Facebook, the whole neighborhood. We live in a neighborhood. The neighborhood's got a page. There's all these next door apps. I don't know, all the stuff that I'm not on. But you could go, hey, anybody got some HVAC experience? I'm getting some different stories here. I got a story that seems pretty gruesome. Mm-hmm. Anybody, you just never know. Some guy goes, yeah, I do it. I'm your neighbor. I'll come over and take a look at it. Why wouldn't you exhaust all options before you decide to chunk $12,000 into 2 new units? Now, the thing going for this guy is, and I get it, he's in Orlando. It's about to get hotter than the surface of the sun.
Yeah. You need some air conditioning. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
that fear thing you talked about. Before.
I get the temptation to, let's just do it right now. I'll figure out how to pay for it later. And
no,
we're not there. Let's be intentional.
Yeah. I mean, goodness gracious.
I grew up in Houston, so I know what happens when the air conditioner goes out.
Is it hotter in Houston, Texas in July or Orlando, Florida?
I don't know.
I think it's about the same.
Yeah. It's just once it crosses the 110 mark, it just hurts.
Yeah. Kelly's shaking her head. I think the humidity in Texas and Florida is probably equal. And that's really what's going on. The humidity is unbelievable. But, John, we talked about this earlier. I want people to get this. We're having a little bit of fun here with Chuck. But, John's right. I've learned this from you, and I talk about this too. When you've got a fear, write it out, get it out of your head, and let's see if it's really, really, truly something I should be afraid of. If I stand close to the fire, I can get burned. That's a real fear. If I try this career, I'm going to be homeless and live under a bridge. That's not.
Or if it costs $125 to recharge air conditioners for the next 3 months, I got 90 days to get some other opinions and ideas and solutions.
Don't they make some kind of tape for that kind of stuff? There's got to be some tape at Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't know.
Man, you just really embarrassed yourself there in front of America. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to fix anything. So I willingly step into the laughter there, folks. Hey, I'll tell you what I do know. That we're coming back to continue to help you. This is The Ramsey Show. listening to The Ramsey Show. Thrilled to have you with us. 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Dr. John Deloney, and we are talking about your life, your relationships, your money, your work, your career path, mental health. We're talking about it all. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Ann Arbor, Michigan, home of my beloved Michigan Wolverines. Andrew joins us there. Andrew, how can we help?
Hey, John. Hey, Ken. How you guys doing today?
We're having a blast. What's up?
My wife and I are 25 years old, and we're looking to have kids in the next 3 to 5 years. We don't want to look back and regret not ever moving out of state. So I was just kind of looking for some advice.
What's the regret you fear?
Just staying in the state. So we live in a small town just outside Ann Arbor. Our kind of fear is that we never go to the mountains or never really get to live or experience living out of state. We have a lot of family members that are kind of doing that, and it's something that we're just kind of considering.
So why don't you just go move?
Well, it's always come back to finances and the projection of our future, right?
Well, why not travel? Have you traveled to some of these places that you wonder about living in?
Yes, sir. Yes. So we would love to go down to Tennessee. There's opportunities with my company. There's also opportunities to go down to the Carolinas. Really a lot of regions that we'd like to live. But when we have kids, we want to be back here in Michigan. So the question I have for you goes back to our debt. We currently have about $15,000 in savings. That's including our emergency fund. We have about $98,000 in mortgage debt. We have $70,000 saved in our retirement, and combined we make a pre-tax and pre-contribution income of $135,000. So I guess the question I have is, and I'm projected to pay off the house between August and October of next year. So I guess my question goes back to whether we should just wait a year.
How much is your house worth, Andrew? How much is your house worth? And I know you've got $98,000 left. So what would it sell for right now? Give me a modest projection.
I would think around between $230,000 and $250,000.
Bro, I don't know what you're worried about. I'm gonna let John speak to the psychology. But as long as you don't have an interruption in income, you guys, you're debt free except your home. You could pay the home off right now. Right now, if you sell it right now, you guys have got big time cash. And if you replace your income, you said there are opportunities in the Carolinas and opportunities in Tennessee. Take the opportunities, and you know what? If you wanna have kids in 3 to 5 years, by the way, you have no control over that.
Zero.
Okay, but let's just say that plays out for you. Listen, Andrew, you guys could rent for 2 or 3 years. It's not a sin to rent. You're debt free if you're going to come back eventually, or you might have enough money. It sounds like you're going to have enough money to put a nice down payment on something else and sell that when the kids come along. John, you want to speak to the fear here?
It's bigger than that. You may find some wonderful community in Tennessee or the Carolinas in 3 to 5 years,
and never come back,
and never go back. And so what you're doing is you're projecting the other side of a coin while you're projecting what living on the tail side is going to be while you're living on the head side. And so you're never going to know until you go. And here's what you're looking for. You're looking for an ironclad, should we or shouldn't we? That doesn't exist. You're just going to have to jump. Or you're going to have to be really happy that you didn't jump. Or, like my family, we always said, hey, we'd love to live outside of Texas. It was till we were in our late 30s before we finally made the jump, and our kids were young, and we never thought we'd do that, and we did. And so you've put some artificial constraints on yourself, and then you're bound in by these artificial constraints and feel like you can't move, and then feeling like you can't move makes you frustrated and your wife frustrated, and you're only 25, and we should be doing all that. Man,
now's the time to do
those boundaries aren't real, right?
You said it was a financial problem, Andrew, or a financial issue. There's no financial issues. Sell that house.
Yeah, sell the house.
Move
this summer.
Let me just tell you something. Stacy and I had a great plan. We really did. We thought we'd be married 2 years and have a baby. Guess what? 7.5 years, infertility.
Yep, 4 years for us.
I mean, listen, you got no control over that. So you just need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact of a young couple, John, that's in the financial shape they're in, selling their house and going on this grand adventure, because financially, this is not a silly decision. It's not even risky.
And you get somewhere and you're 28 and the whole thing implodes.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time to have a new adventure somewhere else.
Yeah, you're fine.
You can always go back to your original small town.
Let's go to Jenny next in Colorado Springs. Jenny, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Thank you guys so much for taking my call. I'm a little nervous.
That's okay.
You're doing great. We are too.
Okay. Okay. So I have a business. It's a waxing business in the Springs. I've got 2 employees. Just this week, I signed another year lease, thinking it was just a normal situation, to go ahead and sign another year lease for the 2 suites that I do rent from my landlord. Last night, I found out the landlord is planning on selling the building. And I just signed the lease this week and found out yesterday. My question is, because of real estate is so crazy here and really hot in the Springs, would it be advantageous to look into purchasing my own building? A little bit about my husband and I. My business cleared about $100,000 last year after tax, and we owe $182,000 on our house. We were hoping to go ahead and have our house fully paid for in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And we make about $295 total between my husband and I.
Can you afford to buy a building with cash?
Well, we don't have for a commercial property, from my understanding, you're supposed to have 25 to 30% down to purchase the building. Now, my landlord would love to sell it to me, but she wants to sell it for $750,000.
No,
so
Jenny,
I would have to probably have $225,000.
Jenny, you didn't answer his question, but we know the answer.
What?
The answer is no, you don't have the cash to buy a building. So if you don't have the cash to buy a building, this is not a good decision for you, and I don't think you have anything to worry about just because your current landlord is selling the building. Whoever the new owner is going to be, they want people renting, leasing from them. I just don't see, with the business you've got going, this is an unnecessary question. It just, you don't even need to think about buying anything at all. Just keep going.
Okay. Really? Like, what if there was a property that was less than that I could occupy the majority of the space and then not even have a landlord?
What if a meteorite comes directly at us at any moment? Or what if my car gets a jet engine put? Here's the thing: you can what if, and they're all going to be right and fun and adventurous what ifs, and the chances of them coming through. What I don't want you to do is to go to Colorado Springs, take out a giant mortgage on a building, have that entire market slow down, and you're stuck with a building you can't fully fund, or you can't fully lease, or you're going to have to undersell the market. You're going to find yourself in a mess. And then you go from being a business owner to a business that's doing really good to being a landowner, right? To being someone who's in the real estate business, which is a whole other business. So it all sounds good. If you can walk in and pay cash for a building, awesome.
Great.
Do it tomorrow. If you can't, don't bind yourself up into a whole other adventure. And I know you can sit down and flip over a napkin and make the math work for you. I wouldn't do that.
Jenny, you and your husband make really good money. Your business is growing. You got a new landlord, and it somehow freaked you out. And then you've created a worse scenario than actually just continuing to step forward.
And you're holding a year lease in your hand.
Big
right?
deal.
You're good.
You're fine.
Good.
You got this. Stay the course. Hey, I want to thank our producer, Ben Hill, our associate producer, Kelly Daniel, and my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. But most of all, we want to thank you, America. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life. I'm Kent Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and we are a part of the Ramsey Network, and we are your host this hour. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. We'll talk about your money. We'll talk about your emotional and mental health. We'll talk about your job. Are you just working a job? You want to make more money? You want to get that shovel bigger so you can get out of debt faster? You want to actually work on purpose and enjoy Mondays? Well, that's what we talk about on the Ken Coleman Show, and Dr. John Deloney helping you on all things emotional, mental health, relationships, and we'll talk about your money as well. 888-825-5225. Let's start it off with Amanda in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Amanda, how can we help?
Hey guys, oh my goodness, thank you so much for taking my call. It's such an honor to speak with you guys.
Well, the honor is all ours. What's going on today?
Okay, so I want to make this as concise as possible. I am 33 years old, and I have a really rare terminal illness that is in essentially what I've been told is kind of the end stages. And really at this point, I'm kind of outliving the timeline that doctors have actually given me, which is amazing. And, you know, I'm still believing that the Lord could heal me, and but realistically, I feel like my body is failing, and I have grown up with the Dave Ramsey principles. I'm out of debt. I got to live my dream job in ministry and do all the things, but I am kind of right now unsure and feel like I'm in kind of uncharted territory as far as what to do with finances in the present day life, and how to set myself up well, not knowing kind of, as I call it, like terminal without a timeline. So like I said, I'm out of debt, and I have because of some disability back pay and some different things, I have some money. And so because of my illness, I wasn't able to withstand the cold of Colorado winter. So I came down to Florida and lived for what I thought was kind of going to be the ending, last 6 months of my life. And I'm still here. But I don't know kind of how to navigate. And so I just wanted to kind of get some perspective on that.
Well, Amanda, your telling of your story is giving us all perspective on our own lives. I don't know that there's a person in the United States that's listening to this that didn't just stop for a second and turn the radio up. And so thank you so much for being brave and for telling us about that. Yeah. And from the bottom of the heart, I'm heartbroken for you. And your attitude and bravery and way you are making meaning of this is an inspiration to me personally, to all of us. Is how do you stare what we all know is coming, right? How we stare it in the face, and also be able to recognize and find beauty in every day. And we get to live our dream job. And hey, I'm going to go 6 months and ride out the last few months in Florida, a place I want to be. And now what do I do? So thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's two parts to this. Number one is the personal, and the second is the financial. When you say you want to know what to do with your money, explain that a little bit. Are you wondering who to leave it to? Do you have enough money to get through treatment? Tell me what your money concerns are.
Kind of all the above. So like I said, I was actually kind of in a, not really feeling like I was debt free and that kind of thing. But then, once I kind of navigated through, like disability and different things, and now, I get a small amount of disability each month. I guess for me,
do you have how about this? Do you have enough money to pay your bills?
I do. Okay. Yeah, I do. And
Are you single? Do you have anybody that is a dependent?
Okay.
I'm totally single. My mom was a single mom, and so really she's the only person that I'm connected to.
Okay.
And so I guess the thing is, I have enough money that I could live for a pretty long amount of time. I think probably longer than I can. But I guess it's just that fear of spending it like frivolously, just living, without I've always been a hard worker and I've always been self-sufficient. And so just to not have a plan. And I don't know, I guess that's what I'm asking is I feel like the Dave Ramsey way is to always have a plan, and I don't know.
So, your plan in your heart and mind, you know how to make a financial plan. Honey, you've got enough money to get you to the end of the ride. And so your goal now is not debt-free. Your goal is not everyday millionaire. That's not your goal. Your goal is to slide in to the end with no tread left on your tires. In a safe and responsible way, obviously. But your last months, your last year can be about service, can be about visiting people that you want to visit, can be about walking dog. It can be about anything you want it to be. Because quite frankly, you're literally an angel that I'm speaking to right now.
Yeah.
And so it's surreal to have outlived the outlived, right? They gave you a short deadline, and you grieved it, and then you went to you set off into your ship for your last ride, and then the ride went all the way around, and then you landed back at shore. Now you're kind of you don't know what to do, right? And so
right. Well, I started a blog called Terminal Ain't Terrible because I'm just got to live the rest of my life the best I can.
Love it.
So I want to hear what you want to do. Is there people you want to go visit? Is it serving the least of these? You sound like a person who is so committed to other people. Yeah. What are the things that you want to do? You get a rare moment. You get a rare moment that many folks won't have, which is I've got a clear heart and a clear mind, and I am financially okay, but I know the end is near. I know it's coming. What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of writing. I listened to Ken's radio show and kind of was trying to figure out a job with writing and creating a blog and monetizing it. But I think perspective wise, that was a little bit time wise not going to work.
Amanda, here's what I would tell you. Number one, we're going to be praying for you. As John said, you inspired us. Listen, you need to decide. Do you want to leave some money for mom? If you don't have a will, get a will. Kelly will connect you if you need that. But I would decide how you're going to live.
And it's about relationships from here on out.
From here on out. That's
not jobs. It's all relationships.
And I love that you're writing, but it really is about what you want to do. This is you leaving your mark. We're honored that you called us, that you shared this story. Amanda, make it count. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more.
The Ramsey Show continues from our Ramsey Solutions worldwide headquarters in Nashville. So excited that you've joined us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and we're taking your calls this hour on your life, your money, your relationships, your mental, emotional health, your work, that advancing, making more money, whatever. We're taking that call for you. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. When it comes to life, I don't know if there's a bigger life change than buying a home or maybe getting married, having a baby. And when that change comes at you, there's a lot coming. You're thinking about a lot. And you need to make sure that you're thinking about the right insurance coverage. Those big changes are overwhelming, but it would be even more overwhelming if you find yourself in a situation where you and your family are in a hole because you weren't covered. If not having the time or energy is what's keeping you from getting the right insurance coverage, use one of our endorsed local provider or ELP insurance agents to help. ELPs are independent agents that shop a variety of insurance options to find you the best option. And then they explain all the technical lingo so you know exactly what you're getting for free. All you have to do is text the word insurance to 33789. Text the word insurance to 33789 to get connected with an ELP and get the coverage that you need. Text the word insurance to 33789. Let's go to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Nancy joins us on the line there. Nancy, how can we help?
Hi, it's an honor, you guys, to speak to you both.
Well, the honor's all ours. How can we help?
Well, I'm calling because I'm in a bit of a conundrum. I'm 46 years old. I'm a single mom, and I am about to start baby step 3B. But I am concerned because I don't have very much saved for retirement. I do have a pension, but my dream is to someday own a home. And while I'm cash flowing my daughter's college as well, I'm just kind of wondering, what should I do? Should I begin to save for retirement and just kind of not be as intense in terms of saving for the down payment? I know it's going to slow me down. Or should I just focus my efforts in saving for the down payment and make sure that when I am ready to purchase that home that I can pay it off before I retire?
Why are you cash flowing your daughter's college?
I'm sorry?
Why are you cash flowing your daughter's college?
Because I don't want her to, be in the same situation that I was in. I mean, I had a lot of student loans, and I just wanted to make sure that she's, set up and that when she graduates that she doesn't have.
So I'll let Ken talk through the money part, but I've seen this with parents over the years working in colleges. And they end up making a trade unintentionally. And the trade is, I don't want my student to have student loan debt because I remember the pain of that. And so instead of investing in their retirement, they put that money into the college fund. And what that means is, instead of the kid having student loans to pay off or having to figure out another college option that may be cheaper, less prestigious, etc., they assure that mom's going to have to move in and that kid's going to have to pay for mom in old age. So there's 100% chance that you're going to have to retire. There's 100% chance you're going to get old. And there is a million options other than having to cash flow your kid's college. And it ends up just being a reverse burden. It's going to be a different one, but it's still going to exist there, if that makes sense. And so I'll pass it on to Ken. I just want to put that out there because I hear and see parents do that all the time. Your priority right now has got to be making sure you've got a home, making sure you've got retirement, and then working to figure out a solution for your daughter in college.
Yeah, Nancy, you're a great mom, first of all.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
You're just got a huge heart, and I understand why you're doing what you're doing, but John's absolutely right. This is not your burden. And if you walk the baby steps out, okay, and you know the baby steps. So you're in the 3B, which is kind of developed over time, right? The baby step 4 is 15% toward retirement, and then we move towards the college and all that stuff. And so you're just in a situation where you're behind the 8 ball there, and I think you feel that burden, and you shouldn't feel the burden. I think you and your daughter got to figure something out. What I want to know is what's your income?
About $105 a year.
$105. Do you have room for advancement there, or do you feel like tell me what your prospects are as you see them?
I do love my job. I'm very happy doing what I'm doing. There is, over time, the opportunity for my income to increase.
Great. How much are you putting towards your daughter? What's your monthly spend on the daughter's education?
Not very much. She understood from the very beginning that she had to stay here in California, and she's doing state college. In roughly a year, I pay about $2,000.
$2,000.
About $4,000 a year for her tuition and books because her father does help.
Okay, so you're putting $4,000.
Not very much.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. That is good. But again, I think what John said is right. I mean, what we want to see you do is really begin to get on your retirement, because
she can earn $4,000.
She can earn $4,000. I'd like to see that $4,000 going towards, again, if you want to save for the house, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But you need to be on, if you really want to buy. How long have you been renting, by the way? I'm curious.
Since forever. I didn't really discover Dave Ramsey until about 3 years ago.
Yeah, hold on a second. I don't want you to feel guilt over that. I hear tremendous guilt and shame over that. That's not a bad thing, Nancy. I want to set you free from that. The reason I asked is it's not a sin to rent when financially you're not in a position to buy a home, and you're not. And I love that you're going after baby step 3B, but I also want you to be looking at your retirement portfolio, and that was my next question. So we got to keep moving here, but don't feel guilt over that.
Yeah, I've rented for years and years. I just recently bought, so it's all good.
Yeah, you're not wasting money, Nancy. Now, where are you at retirement to this moment? What do you have saved for retirement?
Well, like I said, I do have a pension, and as soon as, I didn't really know very much about investing. I have about, I would say about $30K in annuities, and I stopped that completely once I decided to, follow the steps. So I haven't really invested a whole lot, and that's why I think I'm feeling this sense of panic. And I keep telling myself, well, there is a pension, but I know that may not be enough.
Don't be panicked. I thought you told me you were 46 years young. Did I remember that correctly?
That is correct.
Come on, let's hear it, Nancy, for 1974. I'm 46 as well. So, Nancy, I don't think I'm old. So I promise you, I don't think you're old. So, number one, no more panic, no more guilt and shame over rent. Can I get an amen, Doc?
Yeah.
And no more panic.
And listen. No more guilt and shame over parenting.
Yeah.
No more guilt and shame over the relationship that didn't work out.
You got this.
No more of it. Okay?
So, Nancy, here, real quick, we got to run through some things. Have you met with one of our SmartVestor pros?
Not yet.
You need to. Go to RamseySolutions.com as soon as this call is over. And as Dave has taught us, and we say the same thing, I want you to interview 3, 4, 5 until you get one that feels like they definitely have the heart of the teacher and you've got a connection with them. I want you to sit down and let them see your stuff and say, I just called the Ramsey Show, and here's where I am now. I've got a little bit of panic, and I know I need a plan. And absent of a plan, the brain goes wild, and then we get panicky. So I want you to get with a good SmartVestor Pro and begin to map this thing out. The $4,000, we need to bring that back in, and we need to either put that towards baby step 3B. Let's look at your current 401k, whatever you've got going on at work. Let's work towards that. But I want you to sit down and figure out what a real retirement plan looks like. And I think you're going to go, okay, I do have time. I can be really gazelle intense now at this level too, and I can catch up. It's not too late.
And there is an entire culture built around making moms, especially single moms, feel like you are a perpetual screw up. You've done everything wrong and you'll continue to. And that is a lie. You're a great mom. You're in a position now. You're not too late to turn it around. You have turned it around. And now it's getting the right people in your corner to get down this new path. You're on it, Nancy. You're rocking and rolling. I'm so proud of you.
Yep. Take your time. Take a deep breath. The house will be there when you're ready for it. This is The Ramsey Show. Show continues from Ramsey Solutions headquarters in Nashville. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. So grateful that you have joined us. It is your show, America, and therefore we have a phone number for you to jump in. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Let's go to Joe, who joins us in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Joe, you're on the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Ken. Hey, Dr. John. How are you guys doing?
We are having a blast. What's it all about for you today?
Okay, so I'm 23. I just graduated college in May, and I'm actually a personal finance teacher. It uses Dave's high school curriculum.
Oh, great. Thank you.
My question is, I have $12,500 left on my student loans, and I do a monthly budget, as I should as a personal finance teacher, I guess.
Yes.
But I have it planned out that I'll be debt-free by the end of summer. So end of August, that's how I have it budgeted out. Because I'm still living at home with my parents, so I'm able to save a lot of money like that. I've already paid off about $20,000.
Good for you.
My question is, though, since they are in deferment till September and there's all this talk about, the possibility of some of the debt being forgiven, I'm not planning on that. But would it be wrong of me to put my money in the savings account that I've budgeted every month until September in case it happens? Then once September hits and it doesn't happen, I just pay that $12,500 off. Because my next step would be buying a house, and it would be an awful feeling in my stomach if I could have had $10,000 gone. I could put that towards a house.
Yeah, that's a very logical question, John. And Joe, I'm going to tell you something. There was a point in my life where it was a possibility that I was going to be able to dunk a basketball. At least that was that was the thought. No, it never was a possibility. No. I'm making my point here.
Gotcha.
And I don't think it's a possibility that the government's going to pay your loans off. I just don't see it happening. I think it's 1 in a million chance it happens. But to answer your question straightforward, it's not wrong. But that's not what we're going to recommend. Yeah. I don't think it's morally wrong. Right. It just puts yourself in a temptation to, if you put that aside and you stop the plan, a plan that you're going to execute in just a few months at the end of the summer, it creates all levels of temptation. And my colleague is far more qualified to talk about the psychological there. And so that's why we're never going to recommend that you do that, but it's not morally wrong.
Joe, here's my heart on it. You're a smart guy. Is that correct?
I think so.
That's like the impossible question.
I know. I set you up here. So you are a smart guy. You wouldn't be a finance teacher.
He's like, no, John. Yeah, exactly. I'm a moron.
Hey, so at the end of the day, where I struggle with this, as a guy who, me and my wife have 7 degrees between us. We had 6 figures of student loans. And then I started using student loans to consolidate cars and credit cards. I went bananas with the student loans.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Nobody tricked me. I didn't count the cost. I didn't sit there and add them up every semester and see how deep the hole was. But I didn't know to do that. Right. So at the end, was I kind of duped to it? But here's the thing. I signed my name to a piece of paper, and that paper said, "Hey, if you'll help me get through college, I'll pay you back." And so for me, this is an integrity question. And you are somebody who has a blessing in that your parents and you get along. You're allowed to stay there and save up this money. And there's something in my soul that wouldn't sleep right, knowing that I waited on the government to bail me out of a choice that I made, an integrity decision, that I signed a piece of paper saying, I'll pay you back because you helped me get through school. And so you have the ability to work really hard and be debt-free on your own 2 feet in a few months. Mm-hmm. And there's a part of me that, as a guy who's walked alongside students for so many years, what I'm going to tell you is you're going to have your head held high, brother. And if you pay it all off in August, in September they say, hey, we're waiving $10,000, you're going to turn around, and what you're going to do is, like most Americans should, you're going to get indignant. You're going to say, wait a minute, I just worked my butt off to complete the agreement that I signed. And you're just going to wipe, and then you're going to say, well, so it is. I stood up on my own 2 feet, and I paid it off.
You can join the Ken Coleman Grumpy Old Man Club, because I paid mine off, and my wife paid hers off when we were married.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think they should defer that. I don't think they should pay these things off. I don't like it. I don't think it's right.
I agree.
All right, then if you agree, then keep walking it forward.
I just didn't want the FOMO, you know?
Hey, you know what? Listen, you're going to have FOMO whether you're just learn now that FOMO is a choice, right? It's a choice.
That's a great call. And you know what else, Joe? You're rocking it, man.
Yeah.
Pay these things off. You can still live with mom and dad a little longer and save up for that house payment or whatever. Take your time. I got to tell you this, John. It's very normal. But now being 46, having gone through the early 20s, I got married at 23, okay? Yeah, I get it. But you don't have to buy a house to prove that you're a success or that you aren't a loser or whatever the narrative is. Joe doesn't have to be in a hurry to buy a house.
It's not that. It's, man, if you get an apartment at 23, you're just pouring your money down the drain. You're just flushing it down the toilet. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You learn how to grow up. You're saving some money outside of mom and dad's house. Yeah. Right? And we're not talking about you, Joe. We're talking about anybody who's 23. Man, and you have the opportunity to live at home. It's a healthy situation. You pay those loans off really fast. And then go live in an apartment for a few years.
Yeah.
Slow down. Save your money. Let this market cool off. Have cash in your hand and go put down 20, 30, 40% on a house when people need to get out. And you're going to get a great deal on a house.
Yeah.
Just everybody exhale for a second.
Yeah.
Whew, especially you 22, 23, 24-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, renting is not a sin. We got to say that over and over and over. Let's go to Houston, Texas, where Jessica joins us. Jessica, you're on the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
We're having a blast, Jessica. What's going on?
So my husband and I have completed baby steps 1 through 3.
Good. Way to go, Jessica.
Thank you. We're very proud of it. And we currently just finished baby step 3, but we found it to be very difficult because we recently just welcomed our first baby in December.
All right.
Nice.
And yes. And we were told that we had to pay a certain amount for us to have our baby at the hospital. So we paid that. It was in the budget. We paid it. But the problem is that we keep receiving medical bills from myself and my son's stay at the hospital. So we found with step 3, it was a constant. We were saving for our 3 to 6 months and then stopping and then saving and then stopping to pay off the medical bills. And now that we're transitioning to step 4, we're not sure how to still treat the medical bills, if we should still treat it like it's a debt, because we're finding that we're constantly starting and stopping because we just received these random medical bills from the birth of our son.
So I'm in a similar situation, not with a baby, but I had to go to the ER over the Christmas holidays. And I went in there, and in the ER, they had this, it was like a robot on an iPad, and they brought him out, and they said, here's what the cost is going to be, and I have an HSA, so I paid the HSA, and the amount they wanted, I didn't have that much in my HSA account. And so they said, well, we'll just move what you owe us down. I said, I don't want to cash pay. I don't want to give you any insurance. Just want to pay cash and get out of here. So they moved it down. And I have this recorded. I said, you're telling me this is the final bill forever. This is it. And they're like, yes, you're cash pay. You're going to be able to walk out of here and we're going to all high five. I said it again and again and again. And there's this thing saying this call is being recorded and it's flashing up there, right? And then just the other day I got another bill.
So what'd you do?
I'm going to call the hospital and say, you're going to check your records. I'm not going to pay anymore. We agreed on this. I gave you this cash. And what I don't always think it's the hospital's fault. I think different departments bill differently, but there's a central department that says, here's the cost.
Yeah.
They need to get their house in order. So what I would do is fight this and give them a call, say, here's what we agreed on. I'm not paying this anymore. And if you send me to collections, I'm going to go get a great attorney in Houston. Okay? Don't let them take advantage of you. You paid your bills. You be done with it.
Go fight this, Jessica. All right. Don't move. More Ramsey Show right after the break. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, and we're taking your calls about your life, your money, your relationships, your work. 888-825-5225. Our scripture of the day, Hebrews 10:23 and 24. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Our quote of the day from Anne Frank: no one has ever become poor by giving. That's powerful stuff. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Boise, Idaho, where Roberto joins us. Roberto, you're on The Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me.
You bet. What's going on?
Hey, so just a question. I'm 24 years old. I'm a new registered nurse. I just graduated in December.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The only debt that I have is something that I did pretty dumb about a month ago. I purchased a new truck. So it's about $24,000 in debt.
Okay.
Now, I want to go back to grad school in like 2 to 3 years to be an anesthesiologist. And the average cost of the entire 3-year program is about $130,000, depending on what school you go to.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been having some like buyer's regret, and I wanted to get someone's opinion. Like, do I sell the truck and focus on saving for school, or do I just pay off the truck first and then go from there? I didn't know if I sold the truck, if I needed to treat the future debt like how I would in baby step 2 and just focus on, saving up all of that money for school.
How much is the truck worth?
So the truck is worth, I'd say $19,000. Okay. The extra like $4 or $5 grand was for like the maintenance and the warranty and stuff.
How much do you make right now?
So I make every month. I would say $1,700. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, man, you're nursing at the wrong place.
Yeah.
$3,500 a month.
And how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, get rid of the truck, but you got to have something. You got to have something to drive, I'm guessing, or are you in a situation where you could use public transportation to get to your job? I have no idea what Boise, Idaho is looking like and where you're at. Well, what are your transportation needs?
Yeah, I'd probably have to buy a car. I have about like $4,000, $5,000 saved up.
Yeah, let me tell you something. This is what I want you to do tonight. Before you go to bed, I want you to go on autotrader.com or find other cars.com. I don't care. I'm not endorsing any website. I'm just telling you, go to one of those websites and just put in your budget and see what's out there. I think it's going to blow your mind of how much quality, something that will get you A and B, and it doesn't look like, rats have been living in it. And I think that's what you do. And you get this debt out of your life, and now you're back to square one when you're debt free. And then I'd get after it. I'd work. I'd take as much overtime. I don't know what the options are for you as a nurse there, but you want to save up and cash flow your way through this. The other thing I want to challenge you on is you said on average the schooling you want to do is $130,000. What's the low end on that?
Probably like $100.
I'd go 100, and let me tell you why. Nobody, Roberto, cares where you went to school. Take the cheapest option. If it's viable, take the cheapest option. Don't go average. Go the lowest cost possible. And I would delay it. I'd work my tail off, and I'd delay it until I have it all in the bank, because it's just not going to be worth it. I promise you.
And Roberto, I want you to hear what he's saying. The next 3 years, right? You're 24 years old. You're playing a 30-year-old game as a 24-year-old. You're going to work every weekend. You're going to work every night. You're going to stack that money and stack it and stack it and stack it, and then you're going to go pay cash. And along the way, you're going to develop a reputation as a great nurse. I was going to say killer nurse, and that had a bad connotation.
Yeah.
You're going to be recognized as a great nurse. You're going to get some extraordinary experiences, because there's difference of working the night shift as the morning shift. You know that. And then you're going to be ready to exhale and go to a graduate program, get your feet underneath you. You're going to pay cash. And then you're going to come out as a 28, 29-year-old making $1 jillion as a nurse anesthesiologist, and you're going to have no debt, and then it's going to be game on, brother.
Yep. And listen,
I appreciate that.
Don't just hear what John said. I want you to feel the truth behind what John said. Because when you do that, he just gave you a beautiful fast forward into the future. And when you come out that way, there's going to be other people in that anesthesiology program that are just crushed by debt, and every nickel they're making is going just to keep their nose above water. I want you to feel that future. I want you to feel the difference if you can. If you can place yourself in where your other fellow students will be versus where John placed you, that will keep you from being tempted. I'm telling you, the degree is there, the anesthesiology jobs are there, the money are there, but please, please, please do it the right way.
Here's a picture of what that looks like. I was a dean of students of a law school, and then I went back to get a second degree. I drove an old Corolla, like an 01 or a 2000 Corolla, because I was going to put my money over here versus over there. It didn't make me any better than anybody else, did anything like that. And man, my buddies gave me a hard time, my friends and colleagues, and they should have, right? I looked ridiculous. But it was an internal decision. I want this more than this, right? And so I want him to know, man, you can keep pulling into that same hospital parking lot over the next 2, 3, 4 years in a used Honda or a used whatever. You're not going to impress anybody. That's not your goal right now. Your goal is a debt-free, walking across that graduation stage as an anesthesiologist, a nurse anesthesiologist, owing nobody anything. And then, brother, the world is yours, right?
Yeah, now you're talking about stacking money.
And anywhere in the country, right? You could go anywhere with that degree.
Yep. You know, I want to stay here because I think this is such a temptation, and it's a mental mountain for people to get over, an emotional mountain to get over. So let's play this out. So if somebody does it the way everybody else, if Roberto does it the way everybody else does it, and he's not going to, he's already told us that, you come out and you're so burdened by debt, and you realize that, okay, I got the degree, I got the job, I'm making good money, but I'm not tasting the fruits of that. I'm not seeing the fruit of that. I know I'm making it, but it's disappearing. And then all of a sudden, the resentment and frustration begin to build, and it becomes toxic. And then they call the Ken Coleman Show, John. They go, "I'm burned out. I gotta find a new career." And I go, "What?" And we dive into it, and we find out, no, you don't. You're just miserable. You're resenting yourself. You're resenting the job because you're having to work crazy hours, and you don't find yourself getting ahead, and you go, did I make the wrong decision? You didn't make the wrong decision on the work is what I find most of the time. You made the wrong decision financially, and then you just never get ahead. And versus holding off here, and he comes out and he goes, man, I'm doing the work I love. I'm in my sweet spot, but boy, oh boy, I'm also
it's like in high school when we were getting in shape, we had to pull tires.
Yeah.
Right? You sprint, and you're pulling that tire behind you. And, man, you sure can run fast when in a game when you don't have a tire behind you, right?
Isn't that the truth?
And that's debt, right? And you can run anywhere you want to.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So you got to be careful. It's such a great exercise, John, to get out there in front of it and go, wait a second, what's the desired future if I don't do the debt? What's the future look like if I am straddled, or saddled, rather, with debt?
Well, here's his life. He's got a $24,000 truck. He's going to go to work in a high-stress, secondary traumatic stress gig. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
His buddies are going to want to get off shift and go hang out, go eat, go hang out, go eat. He's going to meet somebody. They're going to bring debt into that relationship too, and then they're going to need to buy a house, and then he's going to want to go to grad school, and then suddenly you're going to look up, and like you mentioned, you're going to be living life underwater.
Yeah.
As opposed to just biting down on your mouthpiece for a couple of years, going in there swinging, and you turn around at 26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
Man, you set your entire legacy up. And it's so frustrating, Ken, and it's so hard.
I know. Here's what I found. Just about anybody says, I'm willing to do what it takes. You betcha. But then you say, are you willing to wait as long as it takes? Whoa,
I never thought of that, Ken. That's good.
Everybody's willing to do what it takes. Very few are willing to wait as long as it takes. That's the difference. Patience is the magic. You got to have it. Hey, I want to thank my colleague, Dr. John Delaney. Always fun to be with you, pal. I want to thank our producer, Ben Hill. I want to thank Kelly Daniel, our associate producer. And I want to thank you, America. Thank you for joining us. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show.
have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.